Hello and welcome to Dean Park. In today's video I take a look back at 2021. A year many will remember for all the wrong reasons. However, it's also been a year for some exciting and important new models. At the end of the year I like to reflect on the models that have been added to the Dean Park fleet and rate them in my top 10 chart. This year should have been dominated by a whole tsunami of retail products, from the Hornby APT Class 91 and Mark IV coaches to the Accurascale Deltics and Class 37s and Heljan's 45 and 86/4s. Sadly, the well-documented delays caused by the pandemic put pay to these models being released during the year. However, 2021 was still a bumper year for a whole raft of new releases, many of them newly tooled. Bachmann led the way with a few very important new retools. Not to be outdone, Accurascale released more impressive wagons and announced some exciting new models for 2022, including the long overdue Mark IIB. Kavalx, on the other hand, might not have got their TEA to market in time for this video, but they released another run of their excellent BBA wagons, a few of which have arrived at Dean Park. They also surprised the market with a promising brand new Class 56. Hornby managed to get a few new models out, including some of their 2020 centenary announcements. The APT coaches landed at Dean Park, but other than that, new Hornby products were thin on the ground for my layout. I'm sure that 2022 will see their updated version of their already excellent HST arrive, and hopefully a retool of some of their aging products. I hope you enjoy watching my top 10 of 2021. You can support my channel by clicking on the like and subscribe icons and posting in the comment section below. If you want to access other uploads from Dean Park, click on that icon at the bottom right hand side of the screen to access my channel where all of my previous content can be viewed. Right, let's get back to the matter in hand. What will be in my top 10 for 2021? Let's have a look at some of the contenders. The Hornby APT was announced as part of their 2020 centenary programme, and in October of this year we got our hands on the additional coach packs and non-driving motorised power cars. Hornby have done a good job in capturing the overall shape and proportions of the actual APT coaches, the minimalistic streamlined design being produced with a crisp moulding and decent detail. It even has interior lights as standard. However, what prevents this coach from going higher than 10th is the sizable capacitor visible through the windows and a rather basic self-coloured interior. It also hasn't been tested in operation in the layout, so I can't fairly judge it on performance. Just before I move on, I've dug out one of my original APT coaches from the 1980s. Here you can see how the technology has perhaps moved on in terms of the tooling detail and indeed the paint finish. Do you think Hornby have moved the game on far enough with this latest APT, or have they played the game safe? Let me know by posting your thoughts in the comment section below. This wagon arrived at the layout in the autumn. The coil A was designed in real life to carry rolled strip steel. And what really impresses me about this model is the exquisite detail that Accurascale have managed to get into the tooling for the frame of the wagon. It gives the wagon an extremely realistic look. It's just a shame that for the vast majority of the time this detail will be covered by the plastic covering, which makes a decent effort at replicating a nylon cover. The wagons run extremely well, if not a little on the light side. I suppose it's difficult to get the balance between intricate detail and good running characteristics, so Accurascale have done a good job here. For more information on this wagon, click on the link at the top of the screen where I reviewed it along with the 21-ton mineral wagon. They're a worthy number 9 in the chart. They might have been higher, but they weren't as common in the era I model, which counted a little against them. At number 8 in my chart we have a standard Oxford Mark IIIA, which has been converted into Test Car 10 in attractive RTC red and blue livery. This is unusual in my chart as it is a model that I have repainted myself, whereas all the other models that feature today have come standard from the factory. I decided to do this project because there was a lack of this particular vehicle from any of the ready-to-run manufacturers. I know Hornby and Bachmann have both dabbled with the RTC liveried stock, but so far, at the time of filming this video, this particular coach has never been released. The Oxford Mark III is a very good product, but it's not without its flaws, a couple of shape issues, as well as the flimsy coupler. I've alleviated the kind of weight of the normal tension lock, causing the coupler to sag, by fitting some Hunt magnetic couplers to this coach, and it will run happily with my other Mark III coaches in my fleet. It's a worthy 8th in my chart, especially with all the alterations that I've made to the coach to make it more like RTC Test Car 10. Just want to point out actually the roof vent was designed and 3D printed for me by Chris Bauer down at the West Hill Wagon Works, using original drawings of this particular roof vent as per the prototype coach. So thanks to Chris for his efforts in that. It certainly does lift the realism of the coach. The Class 150/2 was announced back in November as part of Bachmann's winter releases. To my surprise, it turned up less than a fortnight later. I grabbed one as it was a gaping hole in my fleet. It's from my era and region of the late 1980s, so I just had to buy it, and I'm glad I did. Bachmann's 150 isn't a new model, and while it's still up to modern standards in terms of looks and livery, it's starting to date a little with its chunky chassis inside there, which you can see the area that's not lit, which takes up obviously a whole seating compartment in one of the two coaches. However, this does deliver a smooth and quiet drive, which after all is what we expect from our models. The interior is basic, as are the lighting functions. You cannot operate the interior lights independently from the head or the tail lights, so they're either all on or they're all off. A minor upgrade to the circuit board and decoder could solve this, which is hopefully something Bachmann will consider doing in the future. While Bachmann have done a good job here, I feel it's a bit overpriced for what it is. It's therefore only number 7 in my list. One item remaining in the chart from last year is the excellent Kavalx BBA steel wagon. The wagon at the front is from the original batch, and I've had it weathered by the weathering works. The detail that they've managed to incorporate into this weathering project is fantastic, even down to the bent and buckled stanchions. The clean wagon at the back is from the latest release of the Kavalx BBA. I picked up 4 of these last week from KMS Railtech up in Aberdeenshire. You'll notice that the vertical stanchions aren't fitted on this wagon, but they are supplied in the detailing pack. The latest release of wagons comes in a variety of running numbers supplied by KMS Railtech and Trains for You. You could therefore make up a rake of different running numbers if you wish. I tend to get them weathered anyway, so you're not going to see that, but it's a nice touch that they've released more running numbers. They're also varied in decoration as well, with differences in the rail freight and the double arrow decoration. Different buffers are also catered for with the latest release. The first release just had the standard round buffer from the earlier batches of the production run of the BBAs in real life, but they've now supplied later versions in rail freight red with rectangular buffers. Both ran side by side throughout their career, so you can mix and match on your train. I'm very glad to add more of these BBA to my collection, bringing up my total of these wagons to 14, so I can get a nice long prototypical rake, and they're a very worthy 6th in my chart. This year I was fortunate enough to be able to add a rake of the highly acclaimed Bachmann Mark IIF in swallow livery to my collection. These are the DCC fitted versions with full workable and controllable lighting. While a premium product, I really wanted to get another rake to match the quality of the BR Blue ones I got back in 2018. These new 2Fs will now replace my lesser detailed Hornby Mark IIEs. The quality of these coaches is superb, as is the recreation of the swallow livery. The interiors are well detailed, and even the underframe is packed with moulded and separately fitted detail. Bachmann have done a lovely job with these models, however they do charge a premium for them. They're becoming unaffordable for many, and I just hope the next release of the Mark IIFs don't top £100 per coach. That would really be getting a bit silly. The newly tooled Bachmann Class 24 debuts at number 4 in my top 10. This all-new model is a vast improvement on Bachmann's previous model, with a more refined level of moulded and separately fitted detail. What impressed me about this model is the detailed cab, super detailed buffer beam, and overall appearance of this loco in popular RTC livery. This is a sound-fitted loco, which has recently been upgraded to feature a more powerful speaker, which I got from Roads and Rails. I think this really improves on the depth of sound and really highlights the excellent sound recordings Bachmann has put into this ready-to-run sound-fitted model. I did a review with Richard of Everard Junction in the autumn, where we put the loco through its paces alongside the highly acclaimed Sutton Loco Works Class 24 model. While it's not quite up to the Sutton loco, the Bachmann one represents good value for money, a much improved shape and impressive detail when compared to their earlier model. My comparison video can be viewed by clicking the link at the top of the screen. Peaking at third in my chart are the Accurascale KUA nuclear flask wagons, which rolled in during the summer. This instantly made a big impact with its size and weight. At 650mm in length and with a host of die-cast parts, this is one of the heaviest pieces of rolling stock I have. The detail Accurascale has powdered into this model is fantastic. It's so well created, brilliantly put together, and the finish is flawless. It's on the very cusp of my era here at Dean Park, but as it ran in my area in the 1990s, I decided to add one to my fleet, and I'm glad I did, as seeing it operate on the layout is always enjoyable. All it needs is dedicated rolling stock to run with it, including a class 37/6, which is also on the way from Accurascale. I reviewed this wagon in more detail earlier in the year. Click on the link at the top of the screen to watch this video. Gliding into number 2 is the brand new Bachmann Class 47. This model arrived at Dean Park less than a fortnight ago, having been released at the start of December. This particular model is the Sound Fitted Deluxe, which features a rotating fan, full sound suite and upgraded glazing, which is designed to look like the glazing on the real loco. I did an in-depth look at this model, and I shall put the link to that at the top of the screen. While the new Bachmann 47 is a super detailed, beautifully running loco, it doesn't eclipse the previous version, which still remains a fantastic model in 00 gauge. The new one does have more detail on the underframe, on the bogies, at the buffer beam area and inside the cab, but this all comes at a price. For over £200 for the standard model and an eye-watering recommended retail price of £370 for the Sound Fitted Deluxe model, it's beyond many modelers' budgets. The model is fitted with twin speakers and produces a good sound, with the Bachmann sound file offering extensive sound functions to keep you entertained. I'm a massive fan of the Class 47 and Bachmann's representation of it. This model lives up to all the hype, and since getting it I've really enjoyed operating it. I suppose it really throws down the gauntlet to Accurascale to produce something as good with their forthcoming Deltic and Class 37s, which were previously almost exclusive in the Bachmann range. This Bachmann model makes it into number 2 in the chart. Only its cost and limited run of the deluxe models mark it down, and therefore it misses out on the top spot by the narrowest of margins. So I've taken you down from 10 to 2 in the Dean Park chart. So what's number 1 for 2021? Well, it is of course the all new Bachmann Class 20. This new model really had stiff competition, including the Bachmann Class 47. However, this model has really impressed me from day one. The previous generation was good, however with no working lights I was always a bit disappointed. While a good looking model, it did lack the detail that we expect these days. So I was really glad to see an all new version of this 20/0 released this year. I opted to go for the sound fitted one in this attractive grey rail freight livery. It's got the Haymarket emblem on it, so it fits in with my era and region perfectly. The model also has a load of buffer beam detail that can be fitted, including a snowplough that fits to the buffer beam and not the NEM socket, so unlike the Bachmann 47 it looks more realistic. Apart from now having working marker lights, rear lights, switchable high intensity headlight, it now also has a lit cab interior, and this shows off the more detailed cab than was on the previous Class 20. The sound file on this model is also great, and I've recently upgraded it to a twin speaker, and it certainly makes it much more of a meatier and louder sound. I love operating this model on the layout, especially with its playable brake and long list of other sound functions to keep me entertained. The Bachmann 20 is a great model and a worthy winner in my personal chart. Many of you may be surprised that this model pipped the Class 47, however I feel that the new 20 has moved the game on a lot further compared to its predecessor when compared to the new and the previous Class 47, so it tops my chart for 2021. So what model has topped your chart in 2021? Have you bought any of the same ones that I've got here? Get in touch and share your thoughts in the comment section below. In the meantime, I'll leave you some running shots of my top 10 models of the year, and I'm sure 2022 will bring another host of new models to our layouts. In the meantime, stay safe, have a happy new year, and cheers for now.